From my smartphone to yours, I'm Lovecasting live from the Series Joy Garden Studios in Costa Mesa, California. And it's Friday. Thank God it's Friday. Good morning and Namaste, and welcome to Namaste Today. My name is stepº28. I'm your host, a life coach, and my modality is psychic astrology. I call myself the Sensei to Serious Joy because I'm here to stand in my heart and help people stand in theirs. This webisode is for Friday, November 20th, 2015, and today the human walk has progressed to step 28, Scorpio. Now, my friends, good news. We're going to wrap up the Scorpio vibration this weekend. Today, step 28 means that we are manifesting our final boundaries. But I do want to lay a little warning out to you that I think that you'll be tested in your boundaries in the next 36 hours. So no matter what you learned, whether you're learning about boundaries with lovers or friends or with yourself or going too far with something like a substance or with violence or anything, anything that you were trying to put walls up or take walls down for, in the next 36 hours, you will likely be tested on those boundaries. And usually the test is there's something you didn't think of. There's a door you didn't lock. There's something you didn't think of as far as an aspect of the aspect that needed to be protected. Now, I'll just say, I'll do a little throwback and a little pat on my back, actually, to last weekend, where Friday, November 13th, I had said, step 21 is where it starts to get fun. And I said, over the weekend, a major breakdown probably, and because it's Scorpio, it'll probably be major, and because it's major, it'll probably set up for our Sagittarius philosophical discussions of the future. What happened? The Paris attacks, right? And we were, and what are they based on? Everyone going out to have fun on Friday. Step 21 starts out to have fun. Ooh la la. And breakthrough. So I only bring that up, one, because I want to start pointing out, the astrology and how things are accurate when they are accurate. And secondly, I want to say that this weekend, you will be tested. You will be tested. Listen to Sensei. You will be tested on your boundaries. Now, the reason why I'm so absolute about this is because it's Scorpio. There's no gray in Scorpio, if you know Scorpios. It is absolute. It is Metatron. In fact, I actually believe, a little theory of mine, anyone who's into archangel energy, I believe Metatron oversees the Scorpio. It's the archangel that's the boss of Scorpios. And every astrological sign has an archangel that basically holds that vibration together. So archangels help build our reality, and I believe Metatron is connected to Scorpio. Just saying. Anyone wants to put out there in the comments of soulgarden.tv, tell me what you think. It's a great time for a philosophical discussion like that with us moving into Sagittarius. But all that said, it is time to draw your line. You'll be tested on your line, and I think that because it's Scorpio, it's 100%. There is no gray test. You get a full test of every lock, every door, everything. So if there's anything you didn't think of, it becomes blindly clear. Now, I predict that to be really Saturday mostly. So Saturday mostly in the Northern Hemisphere. Now, that said, also, the moon is in Pisces for the beginning of this 24-hour period, and so we are emotionally going to be letting go. You have to be in a place of non-judgment. In the test that you have through the weekend, total non-judgment is the key. All right? You don't judge yourself. You just be grateful, watch the door, be clear. You don't want to be sitting in any kind of self-judgment when it is go time or show time. All right? Then on Sunday, step 0, Sagittarius rules the day. And that means that we're going to be moving into a whole new 30-day extravaganza of the I believe state of awareness, also known as step 3 in Chrisology. Now, with step 3 ruling, this is actually a big deal. Like I had said earlier, because Saturn is in Sagittarius right now, and wherever Saturn is, that's where God Universe is most interested on growing up right now. So God Universe is most interested in the human race growing up with our beliefs and what we believe, Sagittarius. And all Sagittariuses, which I would say from A to Z, girl or boy, all have Peter Pan syndrome Peter Pan is growing up. I think that's part of the problem. That's part of the Sagittarius has been partying. It's like, hello, Sag. You don't got to go home, but the party is over here, right? You know what I mean? So that said, that brings us to today's and this weekend's topic, which is very apropos: to believe or not to believe. This is the question of any Sagittarius. Right? Every Sagittarius doesn't know if they should believe or not believe. Every Sagittarius will go around asking everyone what they believe, but when you ask a Sag what they believe, they get quiet or divert or go get more martinis. And it's very funny that way. So I think it's because Sagittarius themselves are reluctant to believe. They're reluctant to draw that line. And I bring up this topic because I think over the weekend, with us coming out of Scorpio and moving into Sag, with the sun crossing over Saturn right now, for those who are astronauts and know that stuff, or in conjunction now, I think that as we leave Scorpio, we're actually asking one final boundary question of ourselves: to believe or not to believe. Now, I can't get into the architecture of incarnation completely right now, but I will talk about a couple fundamentals I think are very important, all right? And it has to do with the architecture of life. In essence, whether you're an atheist or whether you believe in spiritual matters and spiritual manifestation, you probably would agree with me that everything really is based from that fundament onward. If you think the Big Bang was random and just a random event, everything you believe is kind of from that fundament of what you believe reality is, right? I mean, everything comes from that. That means your hopes, your dreams, your wishes. If you're on the Titanic and it's sinking, and you believe in the Big Bang, then you're really praying that there's lifeboats, not for God. You know what I mean? Like, you're praying for science, which is okay. I don't think anything matters. I mean, at the end of the day, obviously, whatever your beliefs are, we've been led to have both sides. But I think it's a very, very important thing, because I think you're going to see the world literally split here. The Trump town and the other town, whatever the two towns are. We'll call Trump one of them because there's an extremism there. But you're going to see a lot of polarity going on here. And that polarity is that the two sides have each chosen a core different belief. Now, we'll talk about this whole month, okay? I can't get into it right now. But I think right now, people over the weekend will decide if they believe in a certain way or they don't believe a certain way, and they're going to pick up sides. Now, I think this is going to be asked on a fundamental level for everyone. I think by the end of the Sagittarius, every human being will ask themselves, do they believe in God or not? And they will start to go down that path of furthering it. So I think everyone will make that choice. But I also think everyone's beliefs will therefore update as a result of that core belief change. Does that make sense? So I think we're upon some very major issues. And if you think about stuff like with the current events, as far as should refugees come in the country or not, it's like, well, if you're a spiritual person, you would say let them in. But if you're a scientist, you're saying the odds are bad, don't let them in. So you can see that these core issues create core conflicts, and we got to really find a way for both to get along anyways. But this brings us to the 5 o'clock question. My 5 o'clock question is, do you believe that reality is based on magic or material? Do you believe that reality is based on magic or material? And the follow-up, what is your core reason for that belief? So basically, I'm putting the answer to you. I'm forcing you to ask the question if you watch this show. I'm saying, what's your answer to it? And do you believe in magic? Or do you believe in material? Are we an anomaly? Are we magical? Now, honestly, I'll tell you, it doesn't matter. With my study of reality, it doesn't matter. God built it. I believe in God, obviously. I'm just going to answer this own question. I believe in magic. I believe in God. I believe in spirituality. But I also believe it doesn't matter what you believe, because God built it, in my opinion, or you could say random science constructed it, okay? Random science or God, whichever, created to where when the human is in the experience, they don't fully know the answer, and both are possible, right? That's where we are right now. So it doesn't matter. We have to be okay with each side and whatever we choose. But I do think it makes a significant difference on the quality of life. And I'll be making that argument all month long. So let me just answer the question. Yes, I believe obviously it's magical, and I I have many reasons for believing that, but mostly I know that I told Creator I'd come down and help people remember that they come from creation. I think that's what I signed up for. It's what I did. It's definitely me trying to earn bonus points, I'm sure, in class. You know what I mean? Like, hey, Creator, I'll do something. So I know that's why I came down. Now, what's my core reason for proof? Well, I thought, I have many reasons, but I thought today, because it's a weekend show, and this is already a little late, but I will share with you a little story. The story that basically told me 100% spirit is valid. And it was, very quickly, when I was quite young. My son was in my ex-wife's belly at the time. My wife's belly, we'll say my wife, just to put it in normal, present-day context. My wife is 9 months pregnant. It's early on a Sunday morning, and we are driving to one of those annoying, checkups that you have to do like at the crack of dawn. I don't know why, but they make pregnant women do these checkups at the crack of dawn. And so, like, as a husband, it's just like, oh, criminy. So we're driving, like at 5 or 6 a.m. or something, and it's like a Sunday or a Monday. It's very early. I think it was a Sunday. I don't know why we're going to a doctor's appointment on Sunday. But we're driving through an intersection, and as we're driving through, suddenly this horn honks really so loudly at me. And I'm driving, so I kind of flipped out. So I was like, oh my God, who's honking at me? Like, what did I do? I look to the left, I look in front of me, I see nothing. I look in my rear view mirror, I see nothing. I remember looking down, and I remember actually, so vividly, because when you go into these moments, it's like you go into slow motion. So I went into slow motion, and I remember seeing my wife's fat fingers, because she was pregnant and so swollen on her belly, that big belly. I remember seeing her fat fingers. I remember seeing the wedding ring all like dying for air on her finger. Women go through a lot when they're pregnant. God bless them. And I remember looking up and seeing, as there's still a horn honking, this car come to a screeching stop. Literally, like, it's like my eyes rack focus from her belly to like this car coming to a stop, and my car is just like coasting gently through the intersection with no problem, and I'm just like, oh my God. And as I looked over, I saw this person. This person looked completely out of it. He looked drunk, to be honest. I mean, that was my first intuition. And he looked at his car like he didn't know how it stopped. Like, he looked at his car like, what just happened? He looked like he was a passenger in his driver's situation. And I'm just like watching this, and we're just coasting through the intersection, and you literally could almost hear like almost musical notes or chimes. It was just so like la 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 la, like very peacefully, spooky peaceful. And the horn stops honking. And my ex-wife and I are like, oh my God, what the, we both realized what happened. Like, it was pretty incredible. And she's like, who honked at us? And I was like, I don't know who honked at us. I don't know. And I looked around again, and just out of curiosity, I hit my horn. It was our car that honked itself through the intersection and stopped. Our car. I mean, and my mind knew that, but it dismissed that, because I never had any time. I mean, I was reacting to the horn, not reacting, to not hitting something. So we had goosebumps. It was an absolute miracle. My son would have been dead. She was 9 months pregnant. My son would have been dead. There's no way we would have survived through that. Clearly saved my son's life. Clearly was spiritual intervention beyond belief there. One that I could not deny, one that I only share with my wife and my son. I've told him that story, like, God wants you here, trust me, so you better do your homework. That's where spirituality and fatherhood can go a little extreme at times, right? But the point is, I believe we're in a spiritual reality. I believe I'm here to remind you of that. I believe it's important to remember that. And if you get tested on your boundaries, this might be a time for you to ask yourself this weekend, where do you really believe? Where are you going to bet on? Because I believe with Saturn and Sag, our beliefs will be tested. Some of us are right, some of us are wrong. We'll talk about what right and wrong is. It's going to be a whole month-long discussion, and we're going to talk more about angels. I have some cool angel episodes I'm going to release to the public that I haven't released to the public before. But before I let you go on your weekend, let's, without further ado, take a listen to my guides and see what they have to say for you. Okay. Yes, it's very clear. Mercury comes up right away, and I asked like 3 times because my energy was all scattered with that story. Mercury is at step 29 today. That's the final step of our mind. So our mind is being tested to its limits on Friday. Our life on Saturday, Sunday, dead quiet, because that'll be step 0 day. So we'll be exiting out of the step 0 dimension and moving into the step 3 dimension over the weekend. That means that it's going to be trippy for the mind. The mind needs to be very focused and sharp and focused on how you feel and what you believe. That's why I gave you this little exercise. Now, Venus and Mars are both at quantum degrees today. Venus is at step 13, which adds to a 4 quantum. Mars is at step 4, which is quantum. So we're hitting a quantum chord, and that is with our relationship to ourself. It's in Libra. So over the weekend, this is a quantum chord. You believe or you don't believe. If you believe, you enter into a new mirage. If you don't believe, you stay in the old mirage or whatever. Like it can vice versa. You know what I'm saying? It's really about you either are believing and are affirming, or you don't believe and need to find the new belief. You know what I'm saying? It's one of the two, right? But like either way, we'll talk about what right or wrong is. Those are kind of the options that are happening, and people are making that belonging switch now. So it's kind of like, I'll just say it again for the last time, and I'm going to let you guys go here because this is a long episode with that story. Back in the American Revolution, the last time Pluto was in Capricorn, way, way, way before there was ever a fight, way before there was a George Washington, way before the British even arrived, they went door to door and said, are you going to be with the British or are you going to be with the colonists? Are you going to be with the British or are you going to be with the colonists? Now, people had to decide based on their belief. You couldn't wait to see on Twitter what someone posted from the battle scenes, okay? Like, you had to have a belief, and your neighbors would definitely rat you out if you ended up being wrong later. So people back then had to be in a choice. Now we are 249 years later, which means this time it won't be so obvious. We have grown, which means this time human beings won't get a knock at the door. In fact, because America is so developed, you're going to get a knock from both sides. Both the British and the new colonists will knock on your door. Both will knock and ask, hey, what do you believe in right now? Do you believe this is terrorism in France? Do you believe this is this and that? And I think that we need to not only say what we believe, but we need to protect it, and later we need to communicate it after we protected it. We'll talk more about that later. So this weekend, it's highly likely, if it's not already happening now, something is asking you, what do you really believe? And no one is noticing but you and Creator, or you and random scientific numbers. I do believe in numerology and numbers, though. I do. And one of those two, we'll find out. And when will we know the answer? We'll know the answer when Saturn goes in Capricorn and the race begins. So really, the next 2 years is just a theoretical debate. The actual proof of the debate comes when Saturn hits Capricorn. All right, my friends, I have to let you go. This has been a long one, but I want to be there for you. Come on down to my mothership of light, soulgarden.tv. Leave your comments, say hello, don't be a stranger, and register for the site. You'll find videos on lock. There are some videos I just don't release to the general public. And if you'd like to follow me on Twitter, come to stepº28 or follow stepº28. All right, remember, I love you. Have a great weekend, and live, love, be.